The second half of the British Touring Car Championship season gets underway this morning at Donington Park, and it's all live here on Setanta Sports. Good morning and welcome to a very grey, drizzly and soggy Donington Park. And if the weather forecast is to be believed today, this is only going to get worse, so expect plenty of chaos. We've got 11 races for you today, including rounds 16, 17 and 18 of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship. Let's see how it's going to pan out. We kick off with the first two rounds of the Blaupunkt Seat Cupra Championship. We also have two races each from the Formula BMW UK Championship and the Formula Renault UK Championship, and the latest from the Elf Renault Clio Cup and Porsche Carrera Championship, which is our last live race of the day. Let's take a look around the circuit now. We're on board with Matt Neal. John Hindhoff is talking you around.
So coming out of Goddard's, the final chicane across the start-finish line, nice and dry, so you're snatching gears, getting up to tremendous speed here. Red gate coming up, watch for the end of the pit lane. Now you get on the brakes, down through the gearbox, wait, turn in, don't take too much curb here, and try not to use any of the grass on the exit. Now building up to top speed, absolutely flat chat through that little right-hander before the trademark crane of curves. Now diving down towards the old hairpin, on the brakes. You've got to just again wait, be patient, now hard on the throttle. The circuit's really climbing uphill here, you need to take as much momentum as you can. It's very deceptive here. The next is the right-hander, through this little left, the right-hander is McLean's. Often get someone having a little look up on the inside there, and it really narrows, as you can see, Matt using all of the exit there. Coppice is over the brow, turning now, you can't see the corner, it's absolutely blind. Feathering the throttle, wait. You feel like you want to be across on the right, but you can't be. You've just got to wait and be patient. Now, hard on the throttle again, getting up into top gear, top speed. It's the short circuit at Donington, so we're going to hit Goddard chicane. Now, hard on the brakes, just before the cut off to the long circuit. Take the curb on the right, take the curb on the left. Oh, Matt almost took far too much, but that's a lap of the circuit here at Donington Park.
To the British Touring Car Championship here on Setanta Sports. Well, the touring cars are just out now to form up on the grid. The Seat Cupra race beforehand was carnage. Who knows what's going to happen next? Let's get over to Ben Edwards and Tim Harvey to find out.
Thank you very much, Warren, and we're all looking forward to the first race of the day here at Donington Park and getting the action underway. As you say, conditions are not exactly ideal, but we'll hopefully find out what the touring car guys can cope with today, Tim. We've had a lot of rain. They're going to get a couple of laps, obviously, straight out of the pits here to get some acclimatisation.
Yeah, to be honest, the conditions are truly horrendous. For anybody not on the front row, you know, it's just going to be like driving down a motorway behind three Arctics and across the road. It's going to be absolutely awful. But this circuit is notorious for being very slippery when it's wet. It's a very smooth surface, so any water that there is will stay on the surface, and you can already see how much spray is being kicked up. So it is a difficult time. These guys have got 2 laps to get a feel for their braking points and the grip round the circuit, and don't be surprised to see them taking some slightly different lines around the track, looking for some extra grip, maybe on the outside of the normal racing line.
Well, as you can see, everybody getting a bit of a chance to see what it's all about. A lot of spray being kicked up as they come down the Carrera curves, and there's quite a lot of water down on that section of the track. And you're just seeing some of the Alphas coming through. Watching BMWs as well. The BMWs should be in fairly good shape with rear-wheel drive. They've been looking forward to a bit of wet racing. Of course, Colin Turkington did win at Oulton Park in the only wet race that we've had so far this year, Tim, so we'll have to see how they get on. Yeah,
I think they'll be very good, actually, and of course they're good off the line as well. It's a fairly long run down to Redgate, so I mean they've got a good chance. You wouldn't want to be one of those grid girls today, would you? That's for sure. But yeah, I think the BMWs will fancy their chances, and so will probably Mike Jordan as well. His car's very good in the wet. Of course, with the grid the way it is, I'll let you talk about that in a second. But a real topsy-turvy grid with Giovanardi and Plato, lots of work to do. They probably won't be appreciating these conditions because they're going to be blinded by spray, and they're starting well back.
Well, don't quite know why we're looking at that, because that's not relevant yet. Gordon Shedden will be starting from pole position. There's Colin Turkington just making his way onto the grid, and he'll be communicating with his pits, I should think, at the moment. We do have the onboard radio with Colin this weekend, and we will give that a try in just a moment or two, but I think we'll just let them get into position first. It is Gordon Shedden who took the fastest time in qualifying yesterday. An excellent job done by Gordon Shedden to take his second pole position of the season so far in the Team Halford's Honda Civic Type R, and in fact both cars went well in the free practice sessions and in qualifying. Either Matt Neal or Gordon Shedden headed the timesheets in every session yesterday, Tim.
Yeah, this is certainly a good circuit for Gordon Shedden. He's seems to be a circuit specialist here. He was on pole last year and won 2 races here, so he really does like this place. But certainly the Halford Civics are going very strongly at the moment.
Well, look, Matt Neal, current champion, is in 3rd in the points. He's on 97. There's just a 1-point gap, though, between our 2 big championship rivals, Maurizio Giovanardi for VX Racing and Jason Plato for Seat Sport. But interestingly, neither had a good day in qualifying. Fabrizio Giovanardi well down the grid after an engine problem, and Jason Plato carrying lots of ballast. He's further down than might be expected as well.
He is. I mean, he's actually half a second slower than Darren Turner, his teammate. Well, that can't all be explained just by ballast. So certainly Jason wasn't having a particularly good day at a circuit that really hasn't favoured him at all in the past either. Not been a good track for him. I spoke to Nick Clipson, who's the Seat engineer for Darren Turner, and they were surprised by Darren's pace. He thinks that the car just slid in all the right places and hooked up perfectly and put him online. But he said that was a bit of a special lap by Darren Turner, and he's got the car up at the front, but Jason really struggling, and if it wasn't for Giovanardi's problems, that could have been a big reversal, but of course anything can happen in this race.
Well, let's get down onto the grid now. Warren is with our pole man, Gordon Shedden.
Thank you very much, Ben. Indeed, here we have the pole man, Gordon Shedden. Let's get ourselves in here. Now, Gordon, great work yesterday. It's almost irrelevant now, but you must be very happy to be at the front of this grid.
Yeah, watching the carnage that happened in the previous race, I think I'm delighted to be starting from the front of this grid and hopefully just make a clean getaway and see where we go from there.
Hope so. Now, a lot of people are tipping the BMWs and their rear-wheel drive advantage. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I'm sure the BMWs will be quick. I'm sure Seat will have some pace, and obviously I hope that us here at Team Halfords have got some pace as well. So, they've got to find a way past. We all know that they're very quick off the start, and yeah, could find a whole gaggle of cars arriving at the first corner together, I think.
Well, let's hope we see you come out the other side of it. Thanks very much. Nearly got myself taken out by a brolly there. Right, moving swiftly on. Darren Turner, here's a man who missed his first practice session yesterday because he spun off, but somehow it doesn't seem to have affected him at all. Darren, you missed a little bit of practice time yesterday, but here you are right up the front end of the grid.
Yeah, it's a bit of a surprise qualifying. I mean, this was last year the worst circuit for us at Seat, so we really didn't expect much from the weekend. And obviously I made a mistake in the first practice and missed the first practice. And then we got a good setup for second practice, and then it really worked well in qualifying. So a bit of a surprise for everyone that we're on the front row.
Very nice. Now, I was talking to someone in your team and they said, what with the handling advantage you've got and maybe a few of the other cars have a bit more power, you were hoping for the wetter the better. Now, as a driver, do you agree with that?
Maybe the guys in the team were hoping for that, and yeah, I mean, it does sort of level things out a little bit, but then it adds in a bit of a variable as well, because the risks go up as well, and lots more problems can happen in the wet conditions. So one side, yeah, it makes it a bit more of an even event for us, but there's always the chance that we could end up off at the first corner or something.
Well, you've been on the grass once this weekend. Hopefully you finish this one. Good luck. Thank you, Darren. Now, I think we might have just enough time to grab a quick word with Matt Jackson back here. They're going to get us off the grid pretty sharpish. But this man here, not only did he have a win, but he's top BMW. Matt, win at Alton Park, top BMW here on the grid today.
Yeah, it's going well. We made some changes, and I think it's working for us.
Now, rear wheel advantage, you looking for a good start?
Yeah, I think we'll probably have an advantage to the first corner, and then from then on in it's going to be very much entertaining, I think, for us, because there's not a lot of grip out there at all.
Have you got a good set of windscreen wipers on this?
Yeah, I hope so. Keeps misting up at the minute, so it's going to be fun.
Good luck, thanks Matt. Right, we'll leave him to it, and it's back up to Ben and Tim.
Thank you very much, Warren. Yes, so top BMW, as you say, there is Matt Jackson. He's fourth on the grid. Of the top 5 cars on the grid, Tim, only one car carrying any ballast, and that's Matt Neal starting from third place. So Gordon Shedden, Darren Turner, Matt Jackson and Mike Jordan, they're all clear of ballast.
Yes, although, as we've said before, it doesn't make so much difference in the wet. You know, the ballast really doesn't affect the car anything like as much as it does in the dry. It's all about grip and feel and balance and delicate inputs from the driver to keep the car just balanced and teetering on the edge of adhesion. But Matt Jackson must fancy his chances here. When he won at Alton Park last time, he started off the second row of the grid and absolutely fired the car through the two front row, and he must fancy his chances here into the first corner as well. But if his screen's misting up, that's not a good sign.
Looks like the rain may just have eased off for the moment, which is good news. It's been raining pretty much since we came in this morning, but it may just have eased off fractionally, so that's good news. Still no doubt about its full wet conditions for the start of this race. Just a quick mention about some of those other guys. Jason Plato starting in 9th place then, so he's just inside the top 10. But Vauxhall really had the worst day of all in qualifying. Fabrizio Giovanardi had an engine problem. He's had an engine change. In fact, Plato's had an engine change from yesterday as well. Giovanardi starts in 15th place, so way down the grid. Remember, he is championship leader. There he is. We're on board with the Italian series leader. He's carrying 45 kilos of ballast, but he starts in 15th. And Vauxhall's other car, even worse, it's right at the back of the grid. Tom Chilton will start 23rd and last. He's carrying 9 kilos of ballast, and the reason for that, Tim, was that he was underweight after they scrutinized the car in qualifying.
Yeah, the car's checked after qualifying, and he was incredibly found to be underweight. Perhaps they forgot to put that 9 kilos in.
Apparently what it was is he's lost 5 kilograms in weight since the start of the season when he was weighed initially at the beginning of the year. The team has not made enough allowance for that when it was low on fuel.
Yeah, well, qualifying, obviously you run the car as light as possible, but you still have to keep a careful check on it. The team weigh the fuel and weigh the car. They need to check the driver at regular intervals as well, because he would have actually been 5th on the grid.
Yeah,
so a big reversal for him.
That's right. Bad news for Tom Chilton, that was. And so Vauxhall's weekend can only get better, one hopes, from here. Away they go then on the formation lap. Let's take a look at the grid. Gordon Shedden on pole position for the second time this year. He won at Alton last time out. Darren Turner's a race winner this year as well, and Croft in the second race of the day. Matt Neal lines up in 3rd place. Great track this for Matt Neal. It's his local track. He's had great success here in the past. Matt Jackson lines up alongside. This is his best qualifying performance so far this season. Mike Jordan lines up in 5th place. He was on the podium here last year in the Integra. Colin Turkington is 6th. Struggled a little bit with the low grip surface of this Donington Park circuit. Next up is Adam Jones, another fine effort for Team Aircool's driver there. He's alongside Matt Allison, who's also had his best qualifying performance to date for Motorbase Performance. Jason Plato, though, as we said, lines up in 9th place, struggling a little bit for pace, hit by the ballast that he's carrying. Alongside him is Tom Onslow Cole in the second of the Team RAC cars. Now we've got a driver back in the series. Tom Ferrier lines up in 11th place. He's taken over the Motorbase car from Gareth Howell. Aircut's qualified in his best performance in 12th position. He's just outside the points there. Simon Blankley lines up in 13th position. Owen Murray is 14th. Had all sorts of problems with clutch and drive shaft, and yesterday morning did Owen, so he'll be hoping for better things today. Giovanardi in 15th place, as we mentioned, and he's got David Pinkney's ATEC Alpha 156 alongside him. Behind them it should be Jason Hughes, but I gather that Jason Hughes was in the pit lane a few moments ago, so he may not be starting from 17th on the grid. 18th, Richard Marsh. Behind them, Chris Stockton, who went through 2 cylinder head gaskets in yesterday's sessions. So let's hope BTC Racing have got the car sorted for today. Martin Bell is 20th in his BMW. John George lines up in 21st place, but he had an accident in qualifying yesterday, so that rather dented his efforts to go further up. Fiona Leggett starts 22nd, and at the back of the grid, as we mentioned, starting last is Tom Chilton in the second of the works of Vauxhall's. Cars have already made it back round onto the grid, so Tim, we're all set for the start of this one.
Yes, and there'll be some anxious moments further back on the grid because it really is difficult to see, but focus all on the start. A lot of different driving techniques required in the wet, but the first one is to get as much traction as you can off the line, and the drivers will slip the clutch more than normal, try and get the car just rolling away and not create too much wheel spin.
So everybody into position, are we? Look for the BMW, the white and black one, particularly on the second row, that of Matt Jackson. Let's see if he can come through. Round 16 of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship from Donington Park, about to get underway. It's Gordon Shedden who will try and lead them away from pole. Good start from Darren Turner, and here comes Matt Jackson from the second row in the white BMW, and he's going to certainly go for it on the run down towards Redgate Corner. It's Jackson who gets in front. What a magic start from the second row. Jackson leads, Shedden goes into second place, Darren Turner's in third, Matt Neal in fourth, Mike Jordan in fifth. Now can they all get through here? Oh, look at the Vauxhalls together. Chilton coming from the back, and he's already alongside Giovanardi.
Yeah, magic start from Chilton, but Matt Jackson it was. He got a great start down the outside, aggressively cut across towards the inside and blocked off Shedden into the first corner, and it was Matt Neal that got too much wheel spin off the second row.
One of the Vauxhalls.
That's Chilton.
It is. So Chilton has gone off after that great start that he made, and maybe in a bit of contact down through Craners. It's often a place where you get a bit of door banging going on. And look, Jackson's lost the lead.
Jordan off as well.
Jordan's off, but Matt Jackson has lost the lead. Gordon Shedden was in front, I think. Or was it Matt Neal? We'll have to check that. It might be Matt Neal that's taken the lead of this race, but it certainly wasn't Matt Jackson when they came into shot there, and Mike Jordan trying to rejoin the fray once more.
Yeah, Darren Turner's now alongside Jackson as well, and we'll have the inside for the chicane, and Matt Neal's going to try and get underneath. Look at the power of that BMW. That's a very quick car, but he's definitely on the outside. Matt Neal will try and block him out as well.
It is Shedden who leads, it's Turner in second place, Jackson squeezes into third, then it's Matt Neal in fourth place. So Gordon Shedden did get the lead back from Matt Jackson there, and Jackson, who after that fast start now finds himself battling for third with reigning champion Matt Neal. We've got a car off down at the chicane, and it's Tom Ferrier who's gone straight on down there. The first race back in British Touring Cars. He raced the last race of last year, and that's an unfortunate start, but I don't think any damage done to the car, which is pretty crucial.
Yes, crucial for Motorbase. They've spent most of the year in a body shop between races, but Shedden is building a little bit of a lead, but Darren Turner, with a bit of a slide there, so difficult down the Craner curve to get the car slowed up. He's coming along down the inside now. That looks like Adam Jones past Turkington. Great move.
Yeah, Adam Jones, the Solihull racer, absolutely on it there as he came down through Old Hairpin, and look, right behind them is Jason Plato as well, and Jason can see this as a chance to score points over Giovanardi. Giovanardi's down in 12th position at the moment, so in terms of outright championship standings is looking good for Jason Plato, even if he's a long way down. Let's see if we can find out what happened to Tom Chilton here. Tim, he's back in that group, trying to go alongside.
Chilton's trying to make it 3 wide down the Craners, and it just won't go, and he loses it, goes off at high speed. Oh, he's very lucky there.
Apparently he's just gone off again, I gather. Let's just see. This was actually on that first lap still.
This is Mike Jordan just locking up in the background there. It's very slippery there at McLean's, and he just locked up. The thing the drivers have to do is get their brake balance adjusted very quickly for these conditions, and he obviously had too much, but this is Chilton going off again in the background.
Yeah, may have been a bit of contact with another car there, I think. Difficult to see. He was battling with John George, but poor old Tom Chilton, this is not going at all well. Meanwhile, Pinkney's off. Dave Pinkney's off. They're off all over the place. Where do we look next? Meanwhile, let me tell you that Giovanardi's got up into 10th, and look, Matt Neal's got up into 3rd place. He's ahead of Matt Jackson. So it's now Team Halfords leading, Sayat in 2nd, Team Halfords in 3rd place, the privateer BMW Matt Jackson next up in 4th position, 5th place Adam Jones, 6th place Colin Turkington, 7th Tom Onslow Cole, in 8th it's Matt Allison, 9th Jason Plato, and interestingly Giovanardi is now right behind his big rival Jason Plato. They're running 9th and 10th.
Yeah, it's a really delicate balancing act here. The cars are sliding around all the time, and the driver's just trying to keep control of it. There's Matt Jackson running wide, and that's what allowed Matt Neal to get through at Redgate there. Just couldn't slow the car down enough. He was lucky not to get on the grass and slide wide.
No, he did well to stay on at all there, because once you get to the edge like that, it's very easy to disappear into the gravel. Look at the battle for the lead. This is good between Gordon Shedden and Darren Turner. Nothing to choose between the two of them. The Sayat going well. Oh, we've got more problems.
Oh, that's Ferrier and Chilton. And Chilton involved again.
Oh, damage. You were talking about Motorbase, and that's the last thing they needed.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Motorbase can fix that, I'm sure. But this is Chilton having a spin. Oh, no. It's Jason Hughes having a spin. Probably coming back on the track.
Fiona.
It's Fiona coming back on the track. Everyone taking it. Oh, Chilton went round the outside, and poor old Ferrier just collected him as he came back on.
Nothing he could do about that.
No.
And Chilton and Fiona sort of started that off, but, well, nothing Tom Ferrier could do there. So Gordon Shedden still leads. We gather safety car has been called, so that's it. Oh, Ferrier's car still stuck there. That's why the safety car
his
is gonna have to come
steering's
out.
broken, the steering arm's broken, the left-hand wheel's sticking out, so that's why he can't move the car, and it just can't be moved. But they're still racing at the moment, and they'll be racing all the way back. There'll be yellow flags out at McLean's there, so no overtaking there, and they should theoretically slow down, not that you can see it, but they'll be racing round to the flag.
Interestingly, Plato's got ahead of Allison, just noticed as the leaders came through there. So Plato's now into 8th, Allison 9th, Giovanardi 10th. So there is a buffer zone between the two big rivals at the moment in the shape of Matt Allison. But it is Gordon Shedden who leads. As they come down this time, they will be collected by the safety car, and they'll all have to queue up. Darren Turner looking like the danger man here, running in second.
Oh, Matt Neal nearly running straight on there. Did he make it? Did he make it? He's creeping
Only
round the
just.
corner now. He'll be pleased to see that safety car if he gets across, but I can't see it.
No.
I can't see that safety car, and they look like they're still racing.
But the board is up. The safety car board is up. So I guess they're going to be collected. Now, did Matt Neal...
Yeah, he did go across in front of...
I'm not sure he did, actually.
No, you're right. He's shown on the... he's in the pits.
Ah, Matt Neal has come in. So he went straight on down into the chicane. He has now lost that 3rd place. So has he picked up a puncture? What's going on here?
Well, let's have a look. I can only assume it's puncture. He wouldn't be changing to... Or he's got damage. Has he got damage?
Front left puncture,
left, there you go, puncture. So another wet tyre going on. Slightly fortunate with the safety car, because obviously he'll rejoin at the back of the pack and close up to the back. But, well, I'm very unfortunate for his race. He was looking pretty strong, but a little bit of luck for Matt again with the safety car.
So he's back out onto the circuit, and where he's going to join the back of the queue. As you say, in a way it's worked for him well that his timing has been when the safety car comes out. Gordon Shedden leads them from Darren Turner and Matt Jackson. Everyone sitting behind safety car, not allowed to overtake, wait until the race rejoins. There's Adam Jones going extremely well in that red, white and blue Seat, the Team Air-Cooled car. And this is what happened to Tom Chilton.
Well, watch Fiona Leggett. Tom Chilton's going up the inside. Oh, and he did contact Fiona, which put her into a spin. Chilton gets a bit of a tank slapper on at the same time as Fiona comes back on across in front of the pack. Urquhart tries to go around the left at the right hand side, as does Tom Ferrier, and just collects there a recovering Tom Chilton.
Nothing he could do at all there. I mean, he's trying to see which way they were going. He was looking for the escape route, and there just wasn't one really. So this was the start of the race with Giovanardi. So Simon Blankley was ahead of him. That was a good start by Blankley. A bit of a poor start by Tom Ferrier, first time out in the car for a little while, and then it was down into Redgate.
Yeah, no, Giovanardi not with his wipers on. The teams use a formula that goes on the outside of the windscreen to try and let the water run off, but it doesn't really look like it's running off. And there's Chilton coming around the outside, getting involved with Gio in the first corner, 3 abreast. Giovanardi goes through the inside, and there you can see the water streaming off. And somewhere on the left, Chilton's getting involved in his second accident.
Yeah, and then Giovanardi tried to go around the outside of Blankley. This was on board Matt Neal, so he was in 3rd. So Shedden got away well. Turner, watch for Jackson. There goes Jackson down the left.
Yeah, Matt had too much wheel spin. You can see he dropped back a bit, but it was Matt Jackson around the outside that really flew. I mean, he did everything he could there, and unfortunately wasn't able to keep the lead, but certainly he gained a great start. And perhaps as the conditions change a little bit over the rest of the race, it may even actually play back into Matt Jackson's advantage.
And Matt Neal, as we know, has been in the pits since then with a puncture. Very unusual to see that, a puncture in all wet conditions. So I don't know whether he picked up some debris. It's possible because, of course, there were a few bits of car around up where Tom had his little accident. Well, the two Toms had their little accident.
That's where Matt Jackson went off wide at the old hairpin, and that's what we didn't see, and that's how Shedden got the lead. But interesting, you can see Matt Neal's using his wipers, and he's got the Rain-X film to let the water run off as well.
That's right, heated screens as well to hopefully avoid them misting up. Seems to be working okay at the moment, but still difficult. And you can see that battle was still going on. Matt Jackson then had to defend from Darren Turner, and then Turner had a good run here out of Coppice, didn't he? A very clean run. Chris Stockton back in it, I'm glad to say, after his initial problems, but he's a lap down on the leaders. He's just behind Richard Marsh, who's still actually on the lead lap. Safety car stays out there, so we're behind safety car for at least one more lap. I think the rain's coming down a bit more heavily too. Look at that shot. Yeah, definitely.
That's not what Matt Jackson wanted to see. He probably wanted the track to dry out just a little bit, because clearly in the very wet conditions he wasn't able to hold that lead. But the lights are out now, so the safety car will be in at the end of the next lap. Marsh and Stockton just trying to get on the back of the tail of the crocodile there. Matt Neal, interestingly, is not actually at the back of the field. He's actually in 16th place with Chilton right behind him. So Matt didn't drop all the way back. That pit stop's done fairly quickly, and he rejoined, assuming the pit lane was still open at that point, he rejoined and didn't fall right to the back of the queue.
Onslow Cole just sliding around a little bit, but sort of getting a feel for the amount of grip in the car as much as anything. The two BMWs, the two Team RAC cars running 5th and 6th, but it's the Matt Jackson BMW that's the first of that brand of car so far. He's running in 3rd, and then Adam Jones now in 4th. Those guys having moved up as a result of Matt Neal's problem. A little bit of debris there, but that shouldn't...
That's just a brake duct, and I should think that's probably up where Ferrier hit Leggett. It's just a little bit of a plastic brake duct, but no great danger there.
So everybody heading up through McLean's. They've got to come through Coppice down the back straight and then into the chicane, and then we'll get this race underway once again. So Gordon Shedden, who won 2 races here at Donington last year when the Team Halford's cars were the Honda Integras, and a year before that Matt Neal had taken 2 wins in the Honda Integra. It's always gone well, the Integra. This year, of course, they've got the new Civic. They've already had race wins with it. Now, what's that going on there?
That's Dave Pinkney. Well, struggling to catch up with the back of the queue, but that he needs to get going. Here goes Shedden.
Here we go, race restart time, and it's Gordon Shedden who leads them across the line as we have now completed 7 laps. We go on to lap 8 out of 19. More laps being added because of the safety car. Turner in 2nd, Matt Jackson in 3rd, then Jones, followed by Turkington. Onslow Cole under pressure from Plato here. Jason Plato really trying to make the most of the traction of the front-wheel drive car. He's got Matt Allison behind him, and this could be a bit of a tight squeeze as they come down Craner curves, but Onslow Cole's just got enough to move across ahead of Jason Plato. Plato still with a chance of scoring better than Giovanardi, his big championship rival. Giovanardi's a little further back. Look, you can just see the green and red colours of the Vauxhall next in the queue behind Matt Allison's car.
It's so important to stay off the curbs on the exit of the corners. You touch those painted curves on the exit of the corners and instantly the wheel spin starts. Doesn't matter whether you're front wheel drive or rear wheel drive. So trying so hard to stay off those curbs on the exit.
Yeah, crucial that you do, and it's got to be all about accuracy and concentration in these conditions. Towards the back you could see Matt Neal running down in 16th place. He's got to try and fight his way back up the order after that initial puncture. On board with Fabrizio Giovanardi running in 9th place. That's Matt Allison you're looking at. He's still not running the wipers, Tim.
No, that's horrendous vision, isn't it? It actually looks like the screen is misting up. In fact, the screen is misting up. So, and you can see trails of condensation on the inside of the screen. So he's got terrible vision.
Yeah, that's the real problem. They should have heated front screens that should work in these conditions, but sometimes they don't always work as well as they should do. Shedden this to Murray's off. Owen Murray in the Alfa Romeo. He's taken a wild ride. So's Erkut, the Turkish driver. So they both lost some places there. They were running in about 14th position. Let's see if we can find out what happened. Look further down the group here. Let's see if we can spot that. Was just straight on by Murray, but presumably Erkut did likewise.
Yeah, and Pinkney went off in sympathy as well. I mean, Pinkney's certainly exploring all parts of this circuit in the pursuit of grip and some novel lines.
Still the leaders, Gordon Shedden still controlling this race from Darren Turner in 2nd place. Little gap back to Matt Jackson in the BMW in 3rd. Oh, Blankley off. Simon Blankley off just ahead of Matt Neal. Managed to hold it and get back onto the track once again, but he was running in 11th place. Potential to score some points here, but I don't think it's going to happen for the likeable Simon Blankley, who puts his whole heart and soul and mortgaged himself pretty much to the hilt to go racing this year. Let's see what happened here, Tim.
Yeah, this is Matt Neal behind. He tries to jink out, but just catches Simon on the back and puts him into a tank slapper. I don't think that was deliberate at all. He was just looking to move across, and perhaps Simon braked a bit earlier than he thought. Yeah,
that looked like a bit of an inadvertent nudge there by Matt Neal. The rest of them coming down. Watch Jason Plato. He could still be the danger man in that group. Mike Jordan has gone well. He's got caught up to the back of that group. Remember, he went off on the first lap, and he's now running in 10th. And for a little while, he had fastest lap, but that's now been taken by race leader Gordon Shedden. So it is the man in front in the race who leads who's got fastest lap. Here comes Plato down the inside of Onslow Cole, and he takes the place. That's 6th position if he can hold it on the exit of the corner. Onslow Cole's going to try and come back at him as they come out of the bend, and he's done him.
Yeah.
He's got back past.
Yeah, what happened there was Jason concentrated so much on making the overtake and the pass that he just carried so much speed into the corner. All he could do was slow the car down. Onslow Cole back on the throttle earlier, gets a better exit.
Good driving by both guys there, very calm and considered despite these treacherously slippery conditions. They're making it look relatively straightforward at the moment, but not so easy on board Giovanardi's car. That really is hard work when you can't see much. He's still behind Allison. Behind him is Mike Jordan, so Mike Jordan could be a real threat as we're following Matt Allison up the hill towards Coppice Corner. You can only just about work out where they are.
I mean, the drivers obviously know where they are on the circuit, but in terms of timing, your braking and your turn into the corners, it's really difficult. And Mike Jordan has now got him teed up in his sights. And the problem is, as you say, they've got the electric heated screens, but they either work or they don't work. There's no sort of half measure. And if the fuse is blown or something else, then he's gone. But Turkington now under pressure from Onslow Cole and Plato and Allison.
Yeah, Jordan made a move there and got past Giovanardi. You just saw he did go for the inside. Mike Jordan has gained the place, so he's up into 9th position now and going after this little group. Jason Plato with the yellow and silver Seat still trying to get past those two Team RAC BMWs. Matt Allison right behind him though. Good drive this from Allison so far, trying to stay out of trouble, trying to keep it clean and mixing it with the top guys and looking himself to get a solid result. He's in 8th place currently.
Yeah, Seat earlier this year at Rockingham was slightly miffed at the pace of the Motorbase car of not letting Plato through, and now it looks like Plato's holding up Matt Allison. But here's Leggett and Stockton going through the chicane side by side, and well...
And another Alpha going straight on down there.
That's Richard Marsh
with
the Ferekler Alpha, ATEC Alpha. They're all struggling to get the car stopped, aren't they?
Yeah.
Richard Marsh has always had a bit of an issue of confidence on the brakes all year, but certainly in these wet conditions it's not helping his confidence.
New fastest lap now by Matt Neal, who's currently in 11th place. It's Matt
Jordan up the inside of Matt Allison, puts him out wide, and you know, that was a good move.
Yeah, so Mike Jordan gains another one there, and well spotted. He's up to 8th place. So Mike Jordan making up a lot of places after that mistake on the initial lap when it was just so slippery. But look at this, the two BMWs battling here. On board with Colin Turkington and his own teammate Tom Onslow Cole is pretty keen, and Plato's trying to come around the outside. Surely can't squeeze through there, but he has somehow squeezed through, but that puts him on the outside for the next corner. Redgate, this is going to go all the way down to the next corner, and right with them now is Mike Jordan as well.
Yeah,
it's going to be three
it
abreast.
could be Mike Jordan who comes out in front here.
This is good stuff. Jason Plato still can't do it. Jordan's trying to go around the outside of Plato. Oh, that could be risky, getting squeezed out, but Plato gives him space. Still Onslow Cole is controlling this little battle. Jordan is trying to go around the outside. He's trying to gain the inside for the next section of Craner curves, but then of course it's the old hairpin at the bottom of the hill where Plato has the edge because he's on the inside. Oh, little contact. Somehow they both hold it. Great stuff.
Well, Plato was very good there. He's often accused of being too rough, but he could have put Jordan way out off the circuit there, but he really did slow down and make big efforts to hold the car on the inside. So in that instance, fair play to Jason.
Yeah, that was clean when in conditions where it's very difficult to be that clean, if you like. And we gather the safety car's been called again. So the safety car heads out onto the circuit. There's a car somewhere stranded, I think. And we'll get an idea of what's going on. Something to do with Fiona Leggett, I think. Oh, she's off in the tyres. Doesn't look like a huge impact,
That's
but
at
obviously...
the chicane, get the final chicane. Looks like she's tried to make the corner when she's actually outbraked herself and ended up just going deep into the corner, coming into your sight. She's tried to make the corner, you see, and just slid on the grass straight into the tyres.
Pretty slow speed impact, but well, what can you do? It's now in a dangerous position. They can't really leave it there because it's quite likely someone else might go off. Jordan has got past Plato now.
Yeah, as has Matt Neal and Giovanardi got past Allison. I did see Giovanardi nosing up the inside into Coppice on that last lap, and I think Matt Allison got put wide, and they've all gone through.
So let's just quickly run you through the order now with the safety car back out. It is Gordon Shedden leading, Darren Turner second, Jackson in third, Adam Jones in fourth, Onslow Cole now in fifth, because Turkington has dropped right down to 11th. So Onslow Cole in fifth, Mike Jordan in 6th place, despite going to the back virtually on the first lap. Plato 7th, Matt Neal in 8th place, despite a pit stop. There's Fiona, she's fine, she's out of the car. It was very slow speed, but just can't get the car out of there. So Matt Neal now 8th, Giovanardi 9th, Matt Allison 10th, Turkington's dropped to 11th, Bell in 12th, Murray 13th, Aircutt's in 14th, John George 15th, and it's Dave Pinkney, Richard Mast, Tom Chilton still running, but he's down in 18th position.
Yeah, you got a feel for Fiona, really. That's the car that Colin Turkington drove last year, so a very good car. And she had very high hopes for this year, and it's just all gone wrong, hasn't it? This weekend's been one thing after another, with a fairly serious accident into the wall in during qualifying. Well, she's still got a sense of humour, that's good to see, but really not the year that she was hoping for in that bioethanol-powered MG.
Great shame for her and for the team, very enthusiastic team. Jason Hughes, of course, part of that team as well, but he had problems early on in this race, so I think that's both cars out from that team, so that's very unfortunate. Still in the first race of the day here at Donington Park. It's taking quite a long time at the moment because we've had 2 periods. This was when Mike Jordan managed to complete the move on Jason Plato. Tim, talk us through this again.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, this. They're side by side down the Craner curves, 110, 150 miles an hour. They give each other room. Now watch this. You'd think that Plato has the inside. He's looking up the inside. There's a little touch there. Now Plato could have just lent on him, but look, Mike Jordan doesn't even run wide, and Plato doesn't hit him again, and they both come out the corner side by side.
Let's see if we can get the onboard radio working here today. This is Ben in the commentary box to Colin. Colin, how are things out there for you at the moment?
Could you repeat that, please? Repeat.
Ben in the commentary box. Colin, it's Ben in the commentary box. Don't know if you can hear us okay, but let's we just wondered what the conditions are like for you. I think we're struggling a little bit with those conditions at the moment. Look at the rain coming down now, Tim.
Yeah, it's absolutely horrendous. I think we probably confused poor Colin there. He thought it was Jeff Kingston talking to him on the radio, didn't he? But there you go. Anyway, he's got his head and everything else full of these conditions. I mean, you know, his heartbeat's going to be up around the 200 mark, and it's full attention, and the conditions just getting even worse as we speak.
Well, that is not going to be very easy when they get this race started again. The lights are out on the safety car, so Shetton will lead them once again. He's driving beautifully, the Scot, who's leading this race currently. So far, he's dealt with the one restart that we've had perfectly, and he's also put up with the pressure from Darren Turner. 2 young stars in a way. Well, Darren, I say young, of course he's not as young as some of the other ones. He's in his mid to late 30s now, but in terms of a touring car driver, he's still relatively lacking in experience, but both are driving very well.
There they are. No, let's not forget Adam Jones in a fantastic 4th place here, and perhaps as it gets wetter like this, it'll favour his Toledo front-wheel drive car over the BMW of Matt Jackson in front of him, so he could be looking at a podium.
Here we go, restart time. It's Shetton who leads them once more from Darren Turner, Matt Jackson, and as you say, Adam Jones, who's going extremely well here. Down into Redgate corner, great restart again by Shetton, just opens it up a little bit. Plato tucked in behind Mike Jordan, and Jordan's got a chance of getting past Tom Onslow, Cole, so that could be the one to watch. The white and pale blue colours of Mike Jordan emerging through the mist there. He's on the attack, and he's already picked off quite a few places in the last few laps. Shetton now with a big lead. Martin Bell has spun out of Redgate corner. Rear-wheel drive BMW lights up, gets him on his way once again, so that's dropped him to the back of the pack, and the leaders are safely through the old hairpin, are they? Oh, Giovanardi runs a bit wide. That's not what he needed at all.
No, but with his vision inside the car, I think we can probably forgive him, can't we? Because the conditions have got worse. He can't see anything anyway, and that's allowed Matt Allison. Here we go. Oh, Matt Allison up the inside, little touch side by side, and that was what led him through. So,
yeah. Let's see what this is. Look at this. This is going to be a bit of a clout. This is a replay. Bosch there, where he got knocked on the grass. And Matt Allison just basically ran out of grip. I don't think he really meant to do that. That was why what we saw. Oh, Bell's off again this time. I'm not sure he's going to get out of
that. He won't get out of that one then. And there's been contact with John George as well.
Oh dear.
Well, let's see. If John George can get the car moved, then we don't need another safety car, and he can.
These conditions, Tim, they're just getting worse.
Oh, John George has lost it. He's lost it on his own. And I think that, to be fair, Martin Bell just went off in sympathy.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's just so slippery up there that it caught John George out, and then it caught Martin Bell out. Quite there you are.
Hey.
There. Totally
He saw the
separate.
yellow flags and panicked.
Something like that. Oh, look,
Now,
Jordan has...
Jones is third, as I predicted. In these wetter conditions, that Seat Toledo front-wheel drive car has picked up third place.
Yeah, and also what's happened...
Oh, no, Jordan's touched Matt Jackson. Is he going to hold it? Oh, he's going to have to boot it, try and get through the gravel now. Yes, he has.
He can get back on again. And Tom Onslow Cole's lost a lot of places as well in all that. He's down to 7th position now. So the BMWs seem to be struggling in these really, really wet conditions. And now Jackson with that bit of contact with Jordan. Well, he's certainly lost out.
Yeah.
So that means he's dropped several places. Take another look.
Well, this is on board with Jackson now after that little slide. He just holds it. But you're right, in the really wet conditions, the front-wheel drive cars do have an advantage. If it's just damp or surface water, then the BMWs are very good. But in these sort of conditions, front-wheel drive is the way to go.
Well, Mike Jordan gains 4th place as a result of that, but Adam Jones, oh, there's Onslow Cole, he struggled again, he's off on the side of the track. Of course, the front-wheel drive car has its engine over the driven wheels, so you've got a bit more weight bias over the wheels that are doing the pulling. In the rear-wheel drive car, you don't have that advantage. Let's just see, well,
we saw the end of that, but there was obviously a little bit of contact. But look how fast the car spins on the grass. There's just no grip at all. But Turner's coming under pressure for Mike Jordan now.
Well, I think Turner had a little bit
Sorry,
of
Adam Jones coming under pressure for Mike Jordan,
and I think Turner apparently had a little bit of a moment at the chicane a moment ago. So, I mean, everybody suffering here, and it means that Jones is now into 2nd place. Shedden is your leader. There he is. Now, look back. Adam Jones is in 2nd. This is fantastic for Jones. Jordan is in 3rd place. Plato is in 4th. Matt Neal is in 5th. Allison is in 6th place. 7th position now Turkington, and Taron Turner's dropped all the way to 13th place.
Yeah, well picked up. I hadn't spotted that, but that's a disaster for Darren Turner. He's been driving so well, but it's great for the independents, isn't it? Look at Jones and Jordan, 2nd and 3rd.
Remarkable.
I don't think we've had 2 independents like that on the podium for a while.
No, that's right. This is great stuff. Remember, this is Adam Jones's. It's only his 3rd meeting in touring cars. He hasn't done all the events this year because the team that runs the car is also busy running cars in the World Touring Cars. And the Solihull driver, this is very much his local track, as it is for Mike Jordan. He's from Sutton Coldfield, so they're local rivals, if you like. And here they are running in 2nd and 3rd places at Donington Park. Now, what happened to Matt Neal? This was on board Matt a moment ago. This
was when Onslow Cole went. In actual fact, it looked like Onslow Cole was losing it in any case, and whether there was a little contact or not, Matt Neal couldn't avoid him. He did back off. You could hear the throttle lift off, but there's no way you could avoid him there.
So Gordon Shedden's got a comfortable lead in this race at the moment. That's the battle for 2nd. Adam Jones there, then Mike Jordan, then Jason Plato not far back either. And amazingly, Matt Neal is in 5th place in this race. There he is behind Plato. He'd been in for a pit stop, remember. He had to change a front tyre. And he's now
through.
He's through. He's got past Plato. He's in 4th place, Tim.
Yeah, well, coincidentally, that new left front tyre is actually going to work to his advantage here as we see Stockers go off again. But yeah, that new left front, which is the tyre on a front-wheel drive car, does all the work round here. Brand new tyre in these conditions to give him advantage. Pickney stacked it up again.
Oh dear, oh dear. It's just so difficult out there to judge your braking. On board with Matt Neal, and look at the focus and concentration in those eyes. The double champion is absolutely focused on getting this car around the track in one piece. He's been in the pits. He's now up into 4th position. His teammate leads the race, remember. Matt Neal has got the fastest lap in this race, and he's now putting Mike Jordan under pressure for 3rd. He could still take a podium spot here despite making a pit stop. What a remarkable run by Matt Neal.
Well, helped by the safety cars and a new tyre as well, definitely, but a fantastic drive by him and also by Plato to bring the car up to 4th. But that's down in the Air-Cool Engineering team. That's Adam Jones's team.
Yeah, it is, and for Adam Jones running in 2nd, what a story. We're going on now to the last lap, so can Jones hold on to 2nd? Will Jordan hold on to 3rd? He's still under pressure from Matt Neal. There's the race leader. I don't think there's too much doubt about Gordon Shedden, the man who works at Knockhill in Scotland as the business development manager. He's not unfamiliar with conditions like this. He lives with them quite a lot up there, but I tell you what, he's driven brilliantly. Erkut Kaziliamak, he's off. Shame that he had a chance of maybe getting into a point-scoring position today, but it hasn't happened. There's that battle for second.
Yeah, you may be, if you've just joined us, you may think you're watching the British Rallycross Championship, but I can assure you this is the British Touring Car Championship, but conditions are atrocious. We're on the last lap. Adam Jones, there in the coming into your shot now, is in a fantastic second place. Can he hold it to the end?
Oh, look, Matt
through.
Neal's through into third place. He squeezes. That's his favourite spot into McLean's. I remember him doing that a couple of years ago on Ivan Muller on the last lap, and this time he's done it on Mike Jordan.
Yes, it is fantastic. He does love that little slip up the inside into McLean's there. Is he going to get Jones? I don't think he will. I don't think he'll be able to get Jones at the chicane. Jones got a good enough lead.
Well, Gordon Shedden is already a race winner this year, but this has been a brilliant, brilliant drive by the Scot. But Adam Jones is going to take second place, his first ever podium. Here comes Gordon Shedden. He wins the first race of the day in atrocious conditions at Donington. But it's Adam Jones, the Solihull racer, who takes second for Team Aircool. Third goes to Matt Neal, the reigning champion, despite a pit stop. Mike Jordan is the man who leads the points in the independents, and he comes through in fourth place and second independent. Fifth place for Jason Plato, then it's Matt Allison and Colin Turkington. Well, still battles all the way to the line here. Giovanardi in 8th, Jackson in 9th in the end. Some stories there, Tim. I mean, you know, people like Matt Jackson, he led on the first lap. In the end, he finishes 9th. Onslow Cole in 10th place, just the 1 point after all that hard work.
Yeah, I mean, Shedden was the one that was sort of in control, apart from on that first run down to the first corner when Matt Jackson got in front of him. It's been Shedden all the way, but there's back in the Aircool Engineering garage, absolutely delighted, phones getting out, texts being sent, yippee, good result. But it's all been about the independents. We've got 3 independents in the top 6. Adam Jones, Mike Jordan, Matt Allison in the top 6. Great results for them.
Well, you know, they say that rain is an equaliser, and it's certainly given some of those independents, those real privateers, an opportunity to show what they can do. And Adam Jones, the 26-year-old, his first ever season, full season I should say. He did race last year as well in the Lexus, but it didn't really give him a chance to show what he could do. Now he's in a much more competitive car, and he has driven in some of the most difficult conditions we've seen in recent years, Tim, and he hasn't put a wheel wrong.
Yeah, while all around him are making mistakes, he's driven really well, and it's just adding to his CV this year. Every time the guy comes out, he impresses, and that's what's so good. And you know, in a 3-year-old car, he's going to be very, very, very impressing.
Matt Neal was a star as well, though. He finished in 3rd place. He managed to grab that podium spot on the last lap, and this is why, of course, he's a double British Touring Car champion. Let's just see how he made the move, Tim.
Well, just here we go, up into McLean's. He's already set the manoeuvre up and teed it up from the exit of the last corner, the old hairpin, carried his momentum, slid up the inside on the brakes. It's a block pass and there's no way back.
Great stuff from Matt Neal. This is the other view of it, isn't it?
Yeah, you can see he was already lining it up, and Mike Jordan left the door a little bit open. What you have to do there is make it very obvious you're defending very early in the corner, so the guy doesn't try and run it late on the brakes. But Mike left enough of a gap, and that was it.
Well, there we are. The water's still pouring away here. It is a very difficult track to drive on in this heavy, heavy rain. But we've got a list of finishers at last. A long, long race that one was. But it was Gordon Shedden who took victory for Team Halfords, and in fact they got a 1st and 3rd there. Shedden winning from Jones in 2nd, Neal in 3rd. Mike Jordan ahead of Jason Plato, who's able to score some points versus his big rival Fabrizio Giovanardi. Matt Allison finished in 6th place, Turkington in 7th, with Matt Jackson and Tom Onslow Cole completing the top 10. So it's been a pretty fraught race here at Donington Park. There's a lot more to come. Stay with us. Welcome back to Donington Park, where the drivers are getting out of their cars in Parc Fermé, and there's a lot of congratulations going on for Gordon Shedden and for Adam Jones, and indeed for Matt Neal, who fought his way from pretty much at the back after that pit stop. So nice to see that, but Gordon Shedden certainly the star there. His winning margin 6.8 seconds, and that was impressive considering we had a pretty late safety car period as well. He was still able to open up that sort of an advantage. So Gordon Shedden, a star role by him, and the race winner here of the first race of the day at Donington Park. But the conditions really have been very, very wet, and the rain is still coming down very heavily at the moment. There's not a great deal of prospect of it drying off for quite a while. Still 2 more touring car races to come, and plenty more support action as well. And Warren is now with race winner Gordon Shedden.
Indeed I am. Thank you very much, Ben. Gordon, you made that look simple. You disappeared, you missed every piece of carnage, and here you are on the top step.
Yeah, you know, I mean, to qualify in pole position yesterday was fantastic. You know, for everybody in the team has been working so hard, and obviously a bit into the unknown when it rains like this. And you know, got a decent start as we kind of expected. The BMW done its usual trick of disappearing into the distance, but managed to nip through early on and control the race from there. Really, you know, felt really comfortable all the way through, even with the safety cars. So yeah, it was good, fantastic feeling.
Must have been nerve-wracking. With safety car, everyone's racking up behind you again. You've got to go and build that lead, but you did it every time.
Yeah, it was good to do, and you know, never made any mistakes out there. Nice and clean, nice and calm, and yeah, it was a fantastic result for everybody at Team Halfords.
You've got that big grin back from Alton. Hopefully we'll be seeing that later. Thank you very much, Gordon. Second place man, Adam Jones. Just tell us about it. That was incredible.
Yeah, it was just really tricky conditions. It's just, you know, in most touring car races, you know, there's going to be a pace car at some point, but it didn't necessarily help me because the lead, the sort of the gap that I got from the guy behind me, I just had a chance to get it back again. But just to do what we've done, I mean, we've only done 2 races. We've done Brands, we've done Alton. We had a disappointment at Rockingham where we didn't race because of an engine problem. We've missed Croft, we've missed Thruxton. To come and do this, you know, with everything, you know, it's quite emotional.
And do you think you'll be back for more rounds after this? Do you know how many you're going to be doing for the rest of the season?
Yeah, we're going to try and do the rest of the season. Snetterton, thanks, mate. Snetterton we're due to miss because of the team's World Championship commitments, but if there's a way around it, we'll get by. But yeah, we're due to do the rest of the season except Snetterton.
Let's hope we're talking to you later, Adam Jones. Well done, thank you. And talking of excellent drives, here's a man who decided he'd take a break in the pit lane, come back out, and we're still seeing him on the podium. Matt Neal, well done.
I'm still shaking a bit from that one. That was not fun, but I mean, it was great, fantastic. The car was awesome all the way through. When there was one of the motorbase Seats off at McLean's, and he was just in the road, and we just go around there unsighted. I think Flash and Turner were lucky to get through there, and there's some, just at the last second saw a little bit of debris on the road and hit it my front wheel, and it went straight through the wheel. So I thought it was all over at that point, but it did get wet out there at the end. Crumbs.
Very, very wet. What were you doing for visibility? Because some of the onboard shots we saw, you could barely see a thing.
You couldn't. Down the straights, down Craner. The car felt actually quicker than it was, but you just couldn't see any of the braking points. And I didn't want to run into the back of people. I did give a couple of people a little bit of a nudge, but it's just because they were braking earlier than I anticipated, and you just couldn't see, you couldn't even see the rain lights. So it was pretty scary on occasions. And the aquaplaning when the heavens opened.
Well done. You've survived it, and you're on the podium. We'll speak to you later. Cheers, Matt. Right, back up to Ben and Tim.
Thanks very much, Warren. Yep, so certainly some stories to come from that one. It was a very eventful race. Cars off all over the place. Let's hope the teams are going to be able to get them back together. Look at what it's done to the points, though. It means that Plato's regained the initiative over Fabrizio Giovanardi. It was a 1-point advantage for Fabrizio coming into the race. Now it's a 2-point lead for Jason Plato. But Matt Neal scoring well. You know, he's still in the hunt. If those two have problems, Matt still could perhaps do something. Colin Turkington in 4th. Gordon Shedden now has leapt up into 5th place, only a point behind Turkington. So a big difference there. And if Gordon continues on that way, then from carrying no ballast at all coming into this meeting, he'll certainly be carrying ballast going into the next meeting of the championship at Snetterton at the end of July. So some changes there in the points, and we'll have to see how that pans out over the rest of the day. And we'll see exactly how that changes. So the rain's still coming down, but I can tell you that there are some Formula Renault cars ready to go on the grid for the next race of the day. Stay with us here on Setanta Sports.